recognize that Laventille is not blessed with natural resources like other parts of Trinidad and Tobago. It is not blessed with open expanses of land for an industrial estate. It is not blessed with a seafront per se, where you could develop a fishing, net making industry. It is not blessed with those things, no set of natural resources. So as a result, the strength of Laventille has always been the human being, the spirit of the human being. And many sons and daughters of Laventille have gone on through academics and done particularly well. I could name a whole list for you. Clinton Bernard, Jerry Yepming, John Sandy, Ansel Antwine, Senior Magistrate Eugenie Espinet, now retired, Cheryl Blake, now retired. We have produced outstanding citizens from Laventille in sport, in culture, in academics, in business. We have major businesses in the Laventille area recorded over the years. In journalism, men and women of the cloth, we have produced it all, making use of the opportunities. In terms of healthcare, we have many health centers all around Laventille. George Street, Port of Spain, the back road. In fact, my constituency office is upstairs, the St. Barb's Health Center, Oxford Street Health Center, and many more. No one in our communities today would need medical care and cannot easily find it. Primary medical care. We put the Mount Hope Medical Sciences Complex right about 10 minutes up the priority bus route. That route we developed in 1981. We put the maxi taxi mass transit system in place. You pay $7 and you could be at the Mount Hope Hospital. You could be at the Port of Spain General Hospital. Where in Trinidad and Tobago you could get a triple bypass surgery, a cataract surgery, and major surgical procedures at the direct cost of the taxpayer. When I was a boy, Laventille used to be dark. There are places that were known to be dark and you couldn't go. Today you could hardly find a dark place in Laventille. And if it goes dark, TNTech could have that done in 48 hours for you. Most of the top successes in Best Village, that cultural program, Prime Minister's Best Village competition, came out of Laventille. We do not lack for opportunity. There's a narrative circling around that the PNM didn't do nothing for you. The PNM didn't do nothing for black people. That is a myth. That is not true. Look at our housing program. When I was a boy, we had Lakuhap, Pleasance Terrace. We had places that were ghettos, barrackyard types of housing, Besor Street, Oxford Street, Observatory Street, and all over Laventille. In terms of community development, the PNM government, finding spaces like that, use the footprint to put high-rise buildings. So now you have Shafford Court, you have Harp Place, you have housing in Dorata Street, you have housing in St. Francois Valley Road, you have housing in Ramdial Mahabia Lands in Mova, you have housing in Woodbrook, you have housing on Jerningham Avenue, you have houses available to the people. Chumakak, you have them everywhere. There was land available. We developed housing for people and rented it to them in those days for $8 a month, $10 a month, $12 a month. It is only very recently that the minimum rent has now gone to about $750, and I am aware that there are people who still pay less. Every child in Laventille has access to the World Wide Web. If you want to learn to speak Hindi, if you want to speak Urdu, if you want to speak Baganda, if you want to speak any language in the world, you simply use your thumbs and your fingers on the handset you have in front of you and you have access. The other day I wanted to bake a cake. I wasn't so sure about the recipe. I Googled it, I got it, and whoop, it was a wonderful experience for all of us. So whoever comes to you to tell you that you do not have opportunities, they are misdirecting you, they are fooling you. You have a responsibility in all of this to get up pull yourself up by the bootstraps and make great use of the opportunities that Mother Trinidad and Tobago has made available to all of you. And by way of an example, let me say this. I met a young woman about 5 years ago. She told me she wanted a job. She had no qualification. And I saw that. And I told her she needed to improve herself, as I tell many of them when they come to me for help or for advice. She enrolled eventually in a program to learn drapery and dress designing and making jewelry and that sort of thing. She began. And that young woman lived in Manzanilla. In fact, she still lives in Manzanilla. And she traveled from Manzanilla to Sangre Grande, from Sangre Grande to Arima, from Arima to Port of Spain, City Gate, and from City Gate to Broad Street, where the MIC training establishment was. She did that for 4 years to acquire her diploma, and if she wants to now, she can put in another year to get an associate degree. Today, she's able to do drapes. She's able to make dresses and clothing for females in particular. She's able to do all kinds of creative things with jewelry, and she does. I was proud to see her last Emancipation with her own booth, last Carifesta with her own booth. This young woman made those sacrifices from quite Manzanilla for 4 years. I applaud her. That is only one example. I've seen many others do fantastic things. The opportunities are there for you, and you can do it too. We have made, as I say, good and smooth road where there were tracks and ravines. It's a work in progress. There are lots of things that can be done to improve the circumstances in Laventille. Some of it because the government has to play catch up. When people build their houses up on the hills, then the state has to come after to put water up there, to put electricity up there, to put cable connections up there. So the state has been playing catch up over the years, but by and large, you can go to Laventille, anywhere in Laventille as I described it, and you can find houses that you could transplant to any prestige area in this country, so-called, and it would hold its place. And if you want to see the success of the government, who is the largest employer with about 85,000 people, you don't only look at public goods, you also have to look in people's personal lives, the children they were able to educate, whether it's through GATE, with taxpayers' money or not, and the food and the support they had to provide for their children, whether it is through the beautiful homes in Laventille they have developed, whether it is through all the cars that they own. Some families, as I say, have 3 and 4 cars, their bank accounts. So if you want to see the success of this government, I contend that you must not only look at public buildings, public goods, public roads, public water systems, you also have to look in large part at what individuals living in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly those who work with the government, the state, who have been receiving their salaries and their gratuities and their pensions, what they were able to accomplish since those dark days of independence to what we are, a modern Trinidad and Tobago society today.